One of the rare times tonight that Wellington Bristow misfired.
Well, again, like you said, he was going to his left, throwing back to his right, which is a very difficult thing for any quarterback to do.
Well, Taft just did El Camino a great favor. They wiped off 5 minutes off the clock with exactly 7 minutes left in the third. The El Camino Royals offense on the field for the first time in the second half. Looking for a knockout punch. Dover's open. First down, ECR. Out to the 48-yard line.
That quick hitch is what broke Dover loose a couple of times early in the first quarter, and Feinberg is able to find him. Again, you're going to see that hitch, and then Dover may run a go pattern.
14 yards, Feinberg to Dover.
These are the kinds of plays you've got to sustain down the field.
El Camino looking to go to 2-1 of the West Valley League after an impressive first half offensive display. Spellman has running room. Covering the football, doesn't want to lose it. Picked up a good 7 or 8 yards. Troy Spellman's got an interception tonight. El Camino's got 2 picks. Spellman, Sam Tovin and Spellman with the 2 interceptions.
Again, Coach Sabolic is mixing it up. Run, pass, keeping Taft off balance.
Again, half the clock has expired already here in the third, and it remains 35-14 for El Camino Royale. Jason Zabalik building the program. Into the flat. It's another first down to Rafa Cortez.
Cortez made a great play on that. It was almost a bounce pass. He kept it from hitting the ground and was able to make some yardage.
Well, again, Taft has really tonight not proven that they can stop the ECR offense. Their offensive football team for the Toreadors pretty good. They've shown flashes, but the defense, so far they've struggled to try to slow down the Royals of El Camino Royale. And with 5 minutes left in the third, El Camino's threatening, but whistle sounds and the play is stopped in its tracks. It's a Taft timeout to try to reorganize on defense.
Yeah, you got, El Camino is mixing up their play calling really well, keeping Taft off balance. You've got Mr. Dover out on the flank, and it looked at in that set that they were just in, and I'm curious if Coach Kieran noticed something that would allow Dover to get open on a fade because they were just not covering him as closely as they should. So it'll be interesting to see how they adjust here.
Well, another score would just about put this one out of reach for the Toreadors. El Camino would love to punch one in, and that's why Taft took the timeout to try to get that defense some rest and try to somehow map out a strategy to stop Jason Zabalik's offense.
Yeah, again, he's been able to really make some good play calls. He's able to see the adjustments that Taft's making and to exploit it.
Of course, El Camino will complete their regular season next week at Birmingham against the powerful Patriots. First down, ECR. The deep ball for Dover. He's got it. Touchdown. But there's a flag out. We'll see if it stands. It is a TD. We have an interference, but is it offense or defense? That's the question. It's the defense. It's declined, and Dover's got 5. 37 yards, 5 touchdowns for Dover.
We just called it. We said Dover on a fade, and that's exactly what you just saw when you see the highlight. Dover's wide open. Feinberg was able to find him, and that was the adjustment I was wondering if Coach Kieran was going to make.
Well, the only question was the offensive man going to be called for the interference or the defense? And it was the defense. Asa Johnson for the point after. Traffic in the backfield, but he got it through anyway. So let's take another look at this fourth touchdown reception of the night for Cameron Dover.
And you'll see him just get wide open, and Feinberg sees him on just right down the field.
And oh, by the way, Ryan Feinberg has tossed 5 touchdowns tonight. That gives him on the season 18.
See him run for one later tonight.
There's the man, Cameron Dover. 5 touchdowns. 4 on offense, 1 on the specialty team, recovering a bad snap in the end zone, which was snapped over Morelos, the punter, of Taft's head, and Dover was there to find it. He's been on the ball all night long, and that's the passing combination. Feinberg and Dover. They might be etching their names into the Elko Hall of Fame after this performance. 42-14.
Cameron Dover
ECR.
show. Cameron Dover show.
Watson muffed the kick return, and it's loose. It belongs to Taft. That was scary for the Toreadors. Covered by Dustin Lee.
I'm just curious why they're not kicking it deep with the big leg they have. Just put it in the end zone.
Well, with a 28-point lead, they're very comfortable at this point. What's been the difference tonight for ECR?
Their offense in sustaining a drive, and their defense turning it up when they need to, but you still have to recognize Taft's offensive ability. They're not out of this yet.
Wellington Bristow needs to make up 4 scores. They had a couple opportunities late in the first half, and their opening drive here in the third quarter where they were down near the ECR goal line and just weren't able to finish drives. Bristow to the air. Intercepted. It's Tovin again. Sam Tovin. Dutt was the intended receiver, and Tovin is still running. What an effort by Sam. What a night for Sam Tovin, just a junior.
And you look at it and you just see that Bristow just put it up, and it was just anybody who was there could catch it. The receiver wasn't able to come back for it.
Well, at this point, it's fun for Elko. They're all having a good time. We had a face mask to bring them down, so more yards will be tacked on.
Go 15.
We sure will.
Well, we're going up. We're going up. We're going up. During return, we have personal foul, face mask.
Vinell Henderson, our lead official, telling us the story. Let's take another look at Sam Tovin doing his thing in the deep secondary.
Looking at him as double coverage, and
keep it on the ground.
very few quarterbacks can beat double coverage.
Sean Trevino running the football. So Jason Zabalik sprinkling in some new players, giving them an opportunity in a football game with a huge lead. 32 is Trevino, senior. Got the seniors a chance to play. You want them to get out there, maybe get in the end zone. Another pass. Beautiful throw and catch. Cortez again. From the senior running it to the freshman catching it. This Rafa Cortez is a good one in the El Camino Royale program.
Again, a lot of these young kids have never played football before, and this is a good experience for them to get in this game and score some points and build up their confidence.
Remember, Feinberg's thrown 5 touchdowns already tonight.
And it doesn't look like he's done.
From the 4-yard line, Trevino burrowing forward. He lost the ball. Give it to Taft. So the Toreadors with a takeaway. So the Taft Toreadors with a takeaway, and it's Daniel Hernandez, the junior defensive end, with the recovery.
Again, mistakes kill your drives. You just can't. You can't give up the ball. You can't make those mistakes. You've got to sustain those drives and put the points on the board.
2:44 left in the third. By the way, next week, Taft right here will host Granada Hills in their final regular season game. Mentioned that El Camino Royale will travel to Birmingham. They're content to run it. Jackson darting for a few more.
Again, you see that Bristow's mixing it up a little bit, and he's going to let Jackson try to find that crease. He just pulled the ball out of his hands. It's just like takeaway.
It's happened a couple times tonight. Give credit to the Taft defenders for stealing the ball a couple times this evening, or the score could be even more for El Camino. Jackson. I like him. He's fun to watch.
He's explosive.
He's not afraid to put his pads down either. He's got that low pad level when he runs, and he gets the first down.
But it looks like El Camino's defense is finally trying to adjust and not make arm tackles, but actually put the body on him and get in position to make the play. And they're not giving him those big 7, 8, 9, 10-yard gains.
First down, Toreadors. See that clock inside of 2 minutes left in the third. Jeff Kieran lonely on the far side when his team is down by 28. Bristow to the air. Underthrown. Jefferson picked it off. And another flip for Jefferson. We saw him do that last week when he had that kickoff return for the TD. Nice effort.
You know, he's playing man up on Ramirez, and that's the matchup that you want to have. He's got the talent, and he's, you know, Bristow just underthrew the ball, and Jefferson was there. Big play.
Minute 15 left in the third. Royals come out there. They're in a commanding position. They scored early and often in this one, and they've never been headed. Another throw in the middle to Spellman, who's free. A dart from Feinberg.
That's, again, the wide open middle of the field.
So the third interception of the night for ECR is Dorian Jefferson.
The ball was underthrown, and Jefferson was in position to get it.
Almost looked like he was intended to be the receiver.
Well, he's pressing Ramirez. He's one-on-one. He's not giving him that quick post inside anymore. And so they're going to try to beat him deep, and Bristow couldn't get it there.
Final seconds of the third quarter. We're down to 30 seconds left. El Camino in no hurry. Feinberg will run. Still on his feet. Spectacular effort by the El Camino Royale quarterback. What a play by Ryan Feinberg.
And that's what we want to see. We want to see him keep the ball and run it. That's going to bring those linebackers up in tight, and it's going to open that receiver core again with Dover leading it.
By the way, his brother Jordan will play tomorrow. Cal Lutheran has a home game. They play Claremont Mudd Scribs tomorrow. he's running hard for a quarterback that has a 28-point lead. See if they can get one play away. We're down to 5 seconds left in the quarter. And they do snap the ball, and here's Trevino. Runs out of bounds as the third quarter expires. So after 3, it's El Camino Royale adding a touchdown to their halftime lead. And they've opened up a 42-14 advantage.
And you see them threatening now. They're going to be able to hopefully score again, and that puts the onus on Taft to try to catch up. And my guess is you'll see Bristow throw the ball more often in the fourth quarter. Again, just a quick pitch to the outside, and there's really no running room.
Dustin Lee's made a lot of tackles, number 30 for Taft tonight. He's been active. But unfortunately for the Toreadors, he's not had a lot of help.
No, again, the offense is just mixing up their play calling very well, and it just keeps Taft off balance. So they're not sure if it's going to be a run or a pass, and the linebackers are reading it, and they're letting that center, that middle of the field wide open for Feinberg to throw it, especially to Spellman or Bueno underneath.
12 minutes left in Woodland Hills, and ECR has a 42-14 lead. They have the ball at the 13-yard line of the Toreadors. With Paul Zabalik, my name is Randy Rosenblum. We're at Hal Lambert Stadium on the campus of Taft High School. We want to thank the people here at Taft. Great hospitality. This is the first time we've traveled with ECR this year, and couldn't have been nicer here at Taft High School. Accommodating everybody. In these COVID times, you know, they were very, very nice. Everyone's very careful, but very accommodating. Taft looking to score again. Feinberg's gone the distance at quarterback. Throwing over the middle. He's got another one. To Spellman. 6 touchdowns in the air for Ryan Feinberg. Second catch for a score for Troy Spellman.
And again, we called it just quick play over the middle. Linebackers collapsed, and Spellman was wide open in the center of the field underneath.
How about 6 touchdown passes for Ryan Feinberg?
I think that's a remarkable accomplishment. He's got one more quarter to do more.
Chavez Borelli for the point after. Love these kickers. They're automatic. I don't know how much more throwing of the football we're going to see with a 49-14 lead. This one is out of sight. Taft's going to fall here on their home field to a El Camino team that offensively put on quite a show tonight.
Up again, Spellman in the middle of the field, wide open. If you give Feinberg that opportunity, you're going to see more scoring. They're going to be able to put more points on the board, and if Taft is going to give it to them, they'll take it.
Well, for Jason Zabalik, this is his first win where he's dominated. You know, they had a hard-fought 24-14 win in the league against Cleveland, a good Cavalier team. Well, but this was a performance where they've dominated.
Well, they've come close in several of their games that we have watched and covered. It's just the way the ball bounces. It's just the way the breaks are. And as long as they eliminate the mistakes, and if their special teams don't make those mistakes, they can win some football games.
Well, they very well could have won last week against Chatsworth. They fumbled the ball going in, what could have been the winning drive. Both teams had opportunities, but if they don't fumble, the onus would have been on Chatsworth to try to come down the field in the last minute and a half to try to win the game. But they did fumble, and it cost them the football game. But you know, they've learned from their mistakes. They've cleaned up their specialty teams. They've actually gotten a specialty team score here tonight. They've just been the better football squad.
Yeah. Well, as you said earlier, they were expected to win this, and they've got one more quarter to prove it, and we'll see where that goes.
Well, now you're just trying to build some momentum, and you got to go to Birmingham, where they'll be a decided underdog. Birmingham's one of the favorites to win the Open Division title. So that'll be a measuring stick. how far they've come when they play at Birmingham next week.
Well, as you know, they've played one of the most demanding schedules in the state of California. They had challenges from day one and weren't able to reschedule teams, and with inexperienced players and an inexperienced program and rebuilding, they took their licks, and they're now starting to recover.
Yeah, but this is going to be a win that figures to put them in a pretty good position in Division II, where they'll be a legitimate contender. Forget the overall record. They will be a threat in that division. And that one will roll into the end zone, and it's a touchback.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. They've got kickers with a big leg, and they should put the ball in the end zone every time and put Taft deep in their own end zone in their own half of the field, and let them start from their within the 30-yard line, rather than give them those quick kicks and giving them field position.
Well, it looks to me that they're having a running clock. It's a 49-14 game, and they're running the clock. Yeah, they do that with 35-point difference, and if we add up the total, it's 35 points. So it's a running clock, so it'll end quickly.
Good math, Randy.
Well, I had to work on it a little bit. I had to, write it out and subtract. They'll run the football, so this is going to be over fairly rapidly with the running clock. It will stop for injuries and timeouts. Jackson with another opportunity. In fact, he's out of there, and it was not. It was Watson back in. Number 20. So Watson has returned, Terrence Watson.
Well, I would think that Bristow would be putting the ball up now and trying to get as many yards as he can and find open receivers, but Elko has collapsed them up. They're playing man up now and not giving him that opportunity. Again, you see Jefferson on Ramirez here and the flank, and he's pressing them.
Well, the one negative now, when you throw the ball, if it's an incomplete, the clock still runs, so why not run it? It doesn't matter. They are dominating the line of scrimmage. Watson had no chance. That was just terrific defense, and surging in for ECR and making a wonderful play was Jaden Williams. That's a bull rush and a great tackle. Williams, a sophomore. Boy, what a future he has.
They've got some young kids coming up, getting some good experience now, and this is how you rebuild a program. You start from the ground up, and Coach Sabalik is able to take these kids and start to develop them, and they're starting to now see the results of that hard work.
Got good numbers in the program, too. A lot of players. Very good JV team with a number of players that will help. They have a quarterback by the name of Hall. They're very excited about for the future.
Yep, he's a JV player, and he's going to be coming up.
It's 4th and 10. And again, even though there's an incompleted pass, you notice the clock is running because we're in a 35-point game. You got to feel bad for Wellington. Bristow on the other side, he's been picked off 3 times. You see he's a little bit hobbled. It's been a tough night. El Camino's pressured him all evening.
Yeah, and again, he's taken that opportunity to bootleg and to run and gain some yardage, but he's taking his hits.
Well, once again, Taft to relinquish the ball in what has become a rout in Woodland Hills. Jefferson. Return to the near side. Now he's just going to say, I might as well reverse my field, and that's not going to work.
No.
Good coverage from Taft. So excellent job by the Toreadors and Arian Fakra.
It's interesting how you watch the kick returners. I always think that they can gain more yardage by going horizontally, and they gain more yards that way, but yet they don't gain any going forward.
Well, at this point, ECR's got enough points. They got the game in hand. I don't know that you want to even throw it anymore. And we'll see how they elect to play it. See who lines up at quarterback. It's going to be Bueno at quarterback. He's run goal line offense in recent weeks, but Robin's going to come under center and run the attack. So Ryan Feinberg's night is over after throwing 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he deserved a rest now. My guess is you're going to see pitch power. They're going to just keep it on the ground with Bueno at quarterback.
A little confused with a lot of new guys out there, so we're going to have a timeout. And that does stop the clock with 7:14 left.
Yeah, Coach Sabolic is now just substituting players, getting them some experience, and there's going to be some confusion. There's going to be communications issues. And
you know, it's interesting. All along, I've always called it power pitch.
Right.
You call it pitch power.
So, tomato.
Is that what it is? I just want to clarify for my own.
Yeah, just it's semantics, and it's all means the same thing.
But I've always called it power pitch.
It's okay.
Should I go to pitch power?
However you feel comfortable, Randy.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
It all ends up the same way.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's the same play.
But that's what you're going to see here now. That's what they're lined up to do.
Here's power pitch or pitch power with Spellman. And it's working either way. No matter how you describe it, Troy Spellman down the sideline, still going, spinning around in the spin cycle. Troy Spellman, that's for the highlight reel.
That was quite an effort on Spellman's part. Again, with that offense, you're putting 4 people through the hole, and the running back just gets to pick his gap and go. And Spellman is very, very good at that.
You know, I said it before, when you're winning, especially when you're winning big like this, it's so much fun for El Camino. Now for Taft, it's not a fun night.
No.
But for El Camino, they're having a blast.
Well, El Camino's been on the other end of this too, so.
This is some run, isn't it?
Yep.
You just marvel at what Spellman does on this play with those spins and effort. He just didn't want to be denied.
And there's no commentary that can beat that. Just the action itself is what you see.
I thought he described it all right. Here it is again with Spellman. How about that offensive line? They're doing the job.
Well, that's the beauty of that offense, that Don Markham offense from the 1980s, and that thing has been around, and teams have just exploited it, and it's a very effective running attack.
It's been a lot of guys that have had great nights, individuals. Spellman's caught 2 touchdowns. He has an interception. Sam Tovin has 2 interceptions. Obviously, Feinberg's thrown 6 scores. And Cameron Dover has scored 5 times.
We called it the Cameron Dover night.
See if they can score one more time. Well, they lost the handle there, and the Toreadors have it.
Well, they substituted a new running back for Spellman.
Well, again, some of the mistakes by El Camino late in this game is because of personnel changes, and I guess that's excusable. You never like to see it, but you understand it. And give Taft credit playing hard, and Ermita tried to get back on it. Too much red there for El Camino's liking, but with 4.5 minutes left and the clock running, it's going to go down and expire quickly. The only thing in doubt, what will the final arithmetic read? Can Taft score one more time? Content to run it. They're not having any success with anything right now. El Camino's bottled up all the plays. Down to 4 minutes remaining.
Well, I think that Coach Kieran has realized that they're not going to really be able to score, so he's not going to throw the ball.
Well, some changes as well for Taft. Wellington Bristow has left the game. So we have a new quarterback in there. Well, Bristow's come back after going off for one play. Wellington's back in.
Right.
Give him credit. He is one tough young man. Wants to throw it. Beautiful pass to Ramirez. That was well constructed.
Right. And Jefferson is not on there, so, you know, again, you got a new cornerback.
Got Caden Smith.
And a young player. And Ramirez ran that quick post, and he was wide open. They're not pressing him. They're just giving him a cushion.
Again, 2:45 left, and the clock is going to run all the way down unless Taft elects to use a timeout. I'm not sure that they'll do that. A delayed handoff. And Watson is denied. Terrific defense on that front for ECR. George Rivera, the senior, number 73, had help from 65. Abraham Alvarado. A couple seniors combining on the stop.
Right, getting some playing time.
Well, again, Taft will have a tough game next week. So they play Granada Hills here, and obviously for ECR, they got to travel to play Birmingham, the defending Open champions of LA City section football. Watson on the pitch out. Short gain. And for El Camino, they go to 2-1 in the West Valley. And really, the finish of the season is much brighter than the way it started. And that's all you can ask is with your young man is have improvement.
And they've definitely been improving week after week after week. They're scoring more points, and their defense has stepped up. But again, special teams has to be a lot of work with that group.
49-14 tonight. 1 minute left. Again, it's Ramirez, can't hold it. But even though there's an incompletion, by the way, excellent coverage in the secondary from Caden Smith. That clock is running. Well, Paul, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me this season. We had a good time.
Randy, thank you for asking me. It's been a real pleasure and always to work with you. And 30 years later, I'm still thankful that you thought of me.
It's been a tough 30 years.
No, it's been a lot of fun.
It really has been. We had a good time, and we may have another game. Who knows in the playoffs?
Yeah,
That's still yet to be determined. But for El Camino, it's been great. We thank Jason Zabalik and everybody at El Camino. They've been great with us all season long on LA36. And it's El Camino Royale football, and we've had a great time. And this is a program on the rise. Watson has first down yardage. That's going to be the final play of the game. And it's going to be 49-14 for El Camino Royale. They are the victors here tonight. So the best team in Woodland Hills is El Camino Royale. Well, Ryan Feinberg throws 6 touchdowns. Cameron Dover caught 4 of them, recovered another one. What a performance for ECR to go to 2-1 in league play. Some highlights in this one, and there was more than a few. Sam Tobin had a great game in the secondary, number 36. Feinberg was marvelous throwing the ball to Dover.
Yeah, you could just tell he had such a great touch on the ball tonight, and Dover was just not to be denied.
Touchdowns of 50, 37, 27, and 27 again for Dover. And here's another pick for Sam, the man, Tobin.
Right, again, Bristow just put it up, and Bristow was, looking for Ramirez and just couldn't get it there.
El Camino's defense did step up in the second half. They shut out Taft in the final 24 minutes. And there's a Jefferson pick.
Yep, again, Jefferson he's a man up on Ramirez, and Bristow underthrew it, and he was there to make the play. Feinberg
again. A tough quarterback.
Yeah, I think, again, I was disappointed. I didn't see enough runs out of him, but you may see it next week. You may see it against Birmingham. He may take the option of running, and because they're going to key on Dover for sure, and it's going to give Feinberg a chance to maybe break loose.
Great defensive play there by Jaden Williams, 51, and a loose ball there. And got a lot of mistakes, but a lot of good times, a lot of big plays. And Taft falls at home to upstart El Camino Real, 49-14. An unbelievable performance again by Feinberg, throwing for 6. Dover catching 4 of them and also recovering a fumble for a touchdown. For our entire LA36 crew, once again, we want to thank everyone at El Camino for helping us with these shows all season long. For Paul Zabala, for Jason Zabala, and my entire LA36 crew, I'm Randy Rosenbaum. Let's salute ECR. They win tonight big. They are the best team in Woodland Hills. 49-14 over the Toreadors. Good night from you know where. From Woodland Hills, of course.